The filing of certificates of candidacy of aspiring national and local politicians for the 2025 elections has come to a close. To give us updates on the final day of candidacy filing, joining us live is John Eric Mendoza. Eric, do we have a tally of the final number of aspiring candidates who filed their COCs?
Yes, Neil, as of this time, more than 90 senatorial aspirants and party list nominees filed their intent to run in the upcoming midterm polls. What came as a surprise, however, was the filing of detained Pastor Apollo Quiboloy's COC for senator. His lawyer, Mark Tolentino, filed the COC on his behalf. Tolentino did not entertain questions from the media. He only said Quiboloy would push for religious freedom. Quiboloy is facing child abuse, sexual abuse, and human trafficking cases. He was arrested in the Kingdom of Jesus Christ compound in Davao City on September 8. He is still detained in the PNP Custodial Center. Meanwhile, TV host Willie Revillame served as a buzzer beater as he filed the COC just before the 5 p.m. deadline. He said he's tired of seeing shouting matches and fighting in the Senate, and this prompted him to run for office. Revillame said he would push for the welfare of senior citizens. He also said he would remain as program host of his game show until February or before the start of the campaign season. He assured his audience that he would be back as the program host after the campaign period. Former Executive Secretary Vic Rodriguez also filed his COC today. He said he ran to fight corruption in the Marcos administration and to represent the real opposition. Rodriguez said he has not been in touch with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. since September last year. He also said he is running as an independent, but he sported the signature face bump of former President Rodrigo Duterte. Earlier, former Senator Francis Pangilinan filed his COC for senator. He was accompanied by his wife, actress Sharon Cuneta. Pangilinan said he seeks to reduce the high food prices. He also downplayed the current survey results, which said that he did not make it to the Magic 12. Former Commission on Audit Commissioner Heidi Mendoza also ran for senator to push for the abolition of pork barrel. Sagip Representative Rodante Marcoleta also filed his COC for senator. Marcoleta withdrew his senatorial bid in 2022, but he said he would no longer back out this time as he is ready. The first COC filer today is Peter Advincula, who claimed to be the whistleblower Bicoy. To recall, Bicoy linked the Duterte family to the illegal drug trade in a video. However, he later said his claims were false and the videos were part of a scheme to unseat then-President Duterte by the Liberal Party and Senator Antonio Trillanes IV. Neil?
Eric, mayroon lang akong mga katanungan, no? Isa sa mga inaabangan kanina dyan ay yung napabalitang maaari daw na mag-file si former President Rodrigo Duterte ng kanyang COC for a senatorial seat. Ano ang nangyari doon sa balitang yun? Katotohanan ba yung mga bulong-bulungan na yun? Because what we know so far is nag-file siya ng kanyang COC for the Davao City mayoral post. Pero kaninang umaga, may mga kumalat na balita na he will be filing daw for a senatorial seat.
Yes, Neil, fake news yan according kay former spokesperson Salvador Panelo. At on the part of the COMELEC, they confirmed that as of 5:30 p.m. ay walang hindi nag-file si President Duterte or any of his representatives for senator. Neil?
Eric, I don't know if you would have the answer to this, pero I would like to ask na rin, paano yung mangyayari doon sa kaso ni Pastor Apollo Quiboloy? Because he filed his COC, pero as we know, he is currently detained at meron pa siya mga kinakaharap na mga hearings, invitation dito sa Senado, dito sa House of Representatives. So paano mangyayari yun? Do we know kung ano yung mangyayari sa technicalities side noon?
Yes, so pwede pa kasi siyang tumakbo dahil hindi pa siya convicted. Detained siya ngayon, nakakulong siya. So ang closest example that I could give you is yung Kappa founder, Joel Apolinario, filed last 2022 for senator. He's also detained and may nag-file na representative sa kanya, and as far as we know, hindi naman na-prevent yung kaniyang running for senator despite him being detained. And also this could be similar to sa situation ni Senator Laila de Lima, no, na naaresto siya or siya ay nakulong habang siya nakaupo na senator. Hindi siya nakakasali sa mga hearings, proceedings, pero pwede siya mag-file ng resolutions at mga iba pang gawain niya as a senator. Neil?
Maraming salamat, Eric. That's John Eric Mendoza, live from Manila. Dismissed Bamban Mayor Alice Go says she will not run as mayor of her town in Tarlac for the 2025 elections. During the Senate panel on women hearing on Tuesday, October 8, Senate President pro tempore Jinggoy Estrada asked Go to clarify news reports stating that she will run as mayor of Bamban for the next elections. Go says,
Your Honor, sa ngayon, hindi po.
Hindi na. What changed your mind? Kasi sabi ng lawyer mo, tatakbo ka ulit mayor.
Your Honor, haharapin ko po muna yung mga accusations po sa akin. Ninisin ko po muna yung sarili ko po. At para maging fair din po para sa mga constituents ko po na minamahal ko po.
Very good.
in a separate statement of Go sent to the media through her legal counsel, Attorney Stephen David, the dismissed Bamban mayor addressed her locals. In her statement, Go asks for understanding from the residents of Bamban who want her to file her candidacy for the mayoral post, expressing her beliefs that God has a special way of doing things. On Friday, October 4, David said that Go will be seeking re-election as mayor of Bamban. In August, the Office of the Ombudsman dismissed Go as mayor of Bamban town as she faces complaints for graft, qualified human trafficking, money laundering, and tax evasion. Go is also facing Senate probe due to her links to illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators in Bamban. Dismissed Bamban Tarlac Mayor Alice Go and her cohorts fled the country to Malaysia by air, according to the preliminary conclusion of the Bureau of Immigration. During the Senate panel on women's hearing on Tuesday, October 8, Bureau of Immigration Officer in Charge Attorney Joel Anthony Viado says that Go and her companions, Wesley and Sheila Go, who was earlier tagged as her sister, entered Malaysia through air on July 18, 2024. According to Viado, they based their report from the actual records of Go's entry into Kuala Lumpur. Viado says that if Go and her cohorts went to Malaysia by sea, they might have traveled through Sabah. However, he says that there was no record of entry of Go into Sabah on July 19. According to Senator Risa Hontiveros, there was a Sabah stamp on the passports of Go and her companions, but it was proven to be fake. Viado maintains that as far as the Bureau is concerned, there is no record of their entry to Sabah on July 19. Both Alice and Sheila previously said during the past Senate hearings that they boarded multiple boats to flee the Philippines to escape to Malaysia. The two were arrested separately in Indonesia and was deported back to the Philippines. Former Civil Service Commission Chairman Carlo Alexi Nograles is seeking the mayoralty post of Davao City in the 2025 elections, fighting against former President Rodrigo Duterte. Nograles filed his certificate of candidacy on Tuesday, October 8, a day after he resigned as chairman of Civil Service Commission under President Bongbong Marcos' administration. Nograles is set to fight against Duterte, who filed his COC on Monday, October 7. Two other candidates for Davao City Mayor have filed their certificates of candidacy. The former president filed his COC along with his son, incumbent Davao City Mayor Sebastian Duterte, who will be his running mate as Davao City Vice Mayor. Nograles previously served as the former president's cabinet secretary. His sister, PBA Party List Representative Margarita Nograles, also filed her COC as Davao City 1st District Representative, pitting against Duterte's son, incumbent District Representative Paulo Duterte. President Bongbong Marcos describes the execution of the Filipino national in Saudi Arabia as a terrible tragedy, noting that the Philippine government exhausted all efforts to prevent execution from happening. In an interview on Tuesday, October 8, Marcos says that the case of the Filipino national has been going on for many years already, even before he became the president of the country. According to Marcos, the Saudi Arabian government reassessed the issue, but unfortunately their laws are very strict. The president notes that the Philippine government has also exhausted all efforts to help the Filipino national, but the conviction of the Saudi Arabian government remains.
It's a terrible tragedy, and there was very little we had left to do. We had very few options left. We tried everything, and for many, many years. And the Saudi government really tried to look and to be sure that the judgment of hanging was actually deserved.
The Department of Foreign Affairs earlier reported that a Filipino national was executed in Saudi Arabia for the murder of a Saudi national. There is no official notification from the Saudi government so far, but it was confirmed that there was an execution. The DFA did not disclose the information of the executed Filipino out of respect to the wishes of the family. The Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources says that Chinese Coast Guard vessels fired water cannons on Filipino ships. According to BIFAR, BRP Datu Cabaylo and BRP Datu Sanday were conducting a routine resupply mission to Bajo de Masinloc when 3 Chinese Coast Guard vessels and 1 People's Liberation Army Navy vessel approached the Filipino ships and shadowed them. BIFAR says the Chinese Coast Guard vessels attempted to impede the mission of Cabaylo and Sanday but were unsuccessful. The BIFAR ship still succeeded in its resupply mission to fisherfolk near the shoal. BIFAR notes that the agency will not be deterred from fulfilling its mission of patrolling all Philippine maritime zones and providing support and assistance to Filipino fisherfolk in the West Philippine Sea. The Philippines' unemployment rate fell to 4% in August 2024, largely due to a significant influx of Filipino women who found jobs in the services sector, according to the Philippine Statistics Authority. Based on the preliminary results of PSA's August round of the labor force survey, the unemployment rate recorded in August is the lowest in 2 months or since the 3.1% recorded in July. The August unemployment rate translates to 2.7 million jobless Filipinos. In August, the female labor force participation rate rose to 54.7%, up from 52.4% in July, while the female unemployment rate increased to 95.3%, up from 94.8%. Meanwhile, the country's underemployment rate also fell to 11.2%, an improvement from the 12.1% in July. This figure translates to 5.48 million Filipinos looking for an additional job or longer working hours. These are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good evening.